Hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry it's been a while since my last video. I've had a lot of work and school to do over the past year and so. However, I'm going to be back today with a nice little video to bring back memories from the last season, the 2018 season for the New England Revolution, and look ahead to the 2019 season as training camp just opened up today. And today is January 21st. In a few more days, the Revolution will be heading off to Marbella in Spain for some games against some European teams before coming back to the United States and Florida just for a little more preseason before the season starts. Before we get into talking about the previous season or the upcoming season, I want to talk about Revolution Fan TV. Res Fan TV is a new YouTube channel I'm being part of. There's multiple other Revolution supporters who are taking part in this channel. Similar to Arsenal Fan TV, there's going to be different content that is going to be a way for fans to express their opinions about the club in a different format. There'll be different vlogs for the games at home, and there'll also be interviews with the fans after the game so they can spread their opinion. I'm going to leave a link to this channel in the description. Go and check it out. I recommend it. It's going to be a great channel. It's going to be a great project that I'll be helping out with for this upcoming season. Alright, going back to the 2018 season, it was a bit of an up and down year. Rough start with their best start in many years for their annual summer swoon. However, they did not recover enough in time, and they ended up finishing 8th place in the East with 41 points over a 10-13-11 record. Some of the big things that happened this year were two of their offseason signings. Cristian Penilla and Luis Caicedo both were on loan from their original clubs. Penilla scored 12 goals and 7 assists, honoring him with the MVP award given every year. And Luis Caicedo was a midfield workhorse for this team all year, winning so many tackles in the heart of midfield. Both these players had their permanent options accepted, and they are finally part of the Revolution squad permanently until obviously they were moved on or retire. So they had great years. Another player who had a good year was Diego Fagundes. Even with his struggling in the summer, he had a great year, scoring 9 goals, 10 assists in his first season playing the number 10 role, which is his ideal role. And he did very well, but again, summer swoon did not help him very well. As well as the introduction of Penilla and Caicedo to the squad and Diego coming back to form, there was one breakout star of the year, and that was Matt Turner. Came in as the third string goalie for us behind Cody Cropper and Brad Knighton. After preseason, he earned the number 1, and he ended up making 27 starts with 83 saves and had 5 clean sheets on the year. There was a time when he was benched for Brad Knighton. However, he was the primary star all year for the Revs, and I thought it was really good. He had some up and down moments, but for the most part, very solid, very quick to react. Has a little bit to work on, but he's still fairly young. Now, there's also some bad things with the Revs. Obviously, it was their annual summer swoon. As well as that, there was the fate of Teal Bunbury. He scored 10 goals in the first few months of the season, one of the best players in the league in terms of goal scoring. But after the game on June 30th, which was a home win against DC United, he only had scored 1 goal after that, and that was in August against Orlando. So that was not a good little turn from Teal. However, he still played, had some good moments, but he faded away. Another big failure was Claude Dielna and Gabriel Somi. Gabriel Somi was brought in to be the left back for the team behind Chris Tierney, having both battle, while Claude Dielna was made captain at the very beginning of the season after joining mid-season in 2017. However, both players, after July 21st, did not see any game time and were both not even put on the bench. Since Claude Dielna has moved on, Somi is still with the team. And I'm going to get into that when I go into the future. All right, looking ahead to the 2019 season, there has been some movement within the roster. I'm going to start off with some of the out-of-team movement, and those would be first 2 homegrown signings from Nicholas Firmino and Justin Rennicks. Rennick spent the last few years at Indiana University, making the College Cup semifinals the last couple of years. And Nicholas Firmino has also moved from the academy to the first team, having a good time there. Done some training in the past with first team. Both of them are good attacking players who I can see having a good future with the club, even not in their first year though. The other big signing so far has been Juan Fernando Caicedo. He's a big player, good number 9. He'll be either a target allocation money or a designated player over the Revs, depending on other moves. Now he's a true number 9 who's been playing at Deportivo Independiente Medellin in Colombia, Colombian 4 obviously, but he's done very well, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got as the team's number 9 going forward. Now, there's been a little bit more movement apart from those initial 3 signings, and this one is a bit more of a sad one because it was a loss of a great player from the Revolution. Now, that is Kelyn Rowe, who spent 7 years with the club after being here for his entire career. He was traded in a part of a 3-team trade to Colorado and Sporting Kansas City. He is now with Sporting Kansas City. However, the Revolution, in return from sending Rowe to Colorado initially, they got Edgar Castillo, the left back, 32-year-old, who is very talented, was one of the best left backs in Major League Soccer this past season. And he spent time with the U.S. national team in the past, and he's now with the Revolution. It'll be interesting to see what he does at left back. I see he'll be battling with Somi there, but he's going to be the number 1 more likely based on form going into the season. Now, there's also the Super Draft, which the Revolution had taken part in. They had picks numbers 9 and 11 in the first round. And with number 9 pick, they picked someone who was touted to be possibly the number 1 pick, fell to number 9, the Generation Adidas talent that is Tajon Buchanan, and he is from Syracuse University, and he's an unreal forward. Again, projected to possibly go number 1 by some people. He ended up falling to the Revs at number 9, so he's going to be on the roster officially going into the season. At number 11, the Revolution took another athletic player in Michigan State's DeJuan Jones. Again, he was at number 11. He's not been signed yet. He's just going to a trialist for preseason, but I'm expecting him to make the roster as he's very athletic, which is a very good fit for Brad Friedel's style. And now, one other loss was, I mentioned earlier, Claude Dielna. He's been moved on in a trade to Portland Timbers, where we traded his rights after declining his option in the offseason. And we ended up getting $100,000 of allocation money, which is a huge deal. And if he does end up appearing on a different MLS roster this season, we'll get another $100,000 from Portland. On top of those little moves, there's been some rumors going around a lot. There's some outgoing. There's some rumors about Diego Fagundes, who might be staying. I'm hoping he stays because he's done very well and he could be revitalized. However, there is a chance he'll be changing positions from his favorite number 10 back to the wing, and that depends on these 3 players who were heavily linked to the Revolution. Now, the one that's least likely to happen is the Congolese winger that is Paul Jose Mpoku, who's been playing and captaining at Standard Liège in Belgium. Now, the Revolution apparently offered $4 million, which was declined, up to $6 million to get him, to try and buy him from this team. However, they did decline the options as they likely want to keep their captain around. However, there's 2 more that are more likely. The one that's kind of come back was Bojan Krkic. He was a player at Stoke City who's had a lot. He came out of the Barcelona Academy, spent some time at some great places, very good player. But he's kind of fallen out of favor over at Stoke. And they're willing to let him go on a free transfer to some other team, if the Revolution being one of the top options. However, he'd be wanting about $3.3 million a year, which is make him one of, if not the most expensive player in Revolution history. Again, he was linked to us last summer, but he didn't come over here. But he's back to being linked again, and hopefully he'll be coming over here. And there's one other player who will be possibly making this move, and this one is the most likely of the 3. And that is Carles Gil, who is currently a Spanish player at Deportivo La Coruña over in the Spanish 2nd Division. He apparently has been wanting to leave. He doesn't necessarily want to go to the U.S. though, which is a little bit downside, but the club is willing to let him go, and the Revs have put in the best offer for him. And that one apparently is really close. We offer up to $1.7 million from what I've seen in reports online. However, we are the favorites right now for him, and recently there was a report saying that he is going to be leaving with his club, Deportivo La Coruña, in the next couple of days, and the Revs are the favorites to land him. If we get him, that'd be a huge signing for the team. He can be a targeted player or a DP for us, all depending on other signings, but he'll definitely be a good player, plays attacking mid, has some experience over in the Premier League. He's played other than in the Premier League, but I know he played with Aston Villa in that era, and he's done very well. Looking forward to seeing if we can get him, and if we do, seeing what he does for us, because he hasn't been in the best form, but I feel like he's got some good talent going forward for the team. Now, looking at the schedule, the team is going to open the season on March 2nd, away again for who knows how many years, to Dallas. The following week, for the earliest home opener in season ever, is Columbus coming to town, with Zach Steffen still on the roster before his summer move to Manchester City. Now, the other big game to look at is March 24th. The Revolution will be hosting FC Cincinnati for the first ever meeting between the two sides. And also, on August the 3rd, is the return of Lee Nguyen to New England. We'll be taking on LAFC at Gillette. Should be a great game. And then the home finale is going to be on September 29th against New York City FC. Early into the season because they made some changes with postseason. And Atlanta will be their final game on the road on October the 6th. Alright, so those are some of the key games I'm looking forward to watching this season. There's only 6 there, and there's 34 games in the season. And obviously I'm looking forward to every single one because I want to be able to watch every game or go to every game. But those are some of the, probably the biggest games I would say on the season. So now looking to a prediction. Now, similar to last year, I think we're going to get to a quick start. They have a home-heavy schedule at the beginning of the season. And they obviously are going to, in the summer, kind of be balanced. And at the end of the season, have more away games, which is standard for the Revolution. They give us the cold games and the warm ones are away, which doesn't make too much sense. However, they are going to get to a nice solid start. They may not win the first couple of games because they have Dallas on the road, which is always a tough one. And then Columbus is a very good team. Even though it's at home, I still think we're going to get a result at least out of that one to continue some home form in the openers. But I still think we're going to have a solid start to the beginning of the season. And then we're going to hit June, July area and start collapsing like we have in the last few years. But I think in the end, we're even with the tough ending of the season that we have, ending with New York at home, and Atlanta on the road, throwing Portland in there. It's going to be a tough ending of the season. I still think the Revs are going to squeak in the playoffs. Now, the top 7 make it to the East playoffs this year instead of the top 6. But I still think the Revs are going to get 6th place in the Eastern Conference this year, which means we're going to have to travel to the 3 seed in the East, which obviously going on the road in playoffs is never a fun time because it's always a tough time. You never know what you're going to do, but it's not. I don't think the Revs will make it too far in the playoffs, but I'm just going to say we're going to get 6th place. It's a good place for the Revs. We were 8th last year. It's a bit of improvement, especially if we make some big moves like getting Carles Gil or Bojan on the team. And if we make some summer moves too, which you never know because we're still short a little bit of defense, left back depth in case Somi leaves. Center back depth, we only have 3 primary ones right now. And some defensive midfielders to help out with Zahibo, Caldwell, and Caicedo. I think the Revs do have a good chance of making playoffs, as more than half teams in the conference make it. I'm still thinking it's going to be a rough year for the Revs. And I'm going to say playoffs still, but it's going to be, they have to make some moves. If they really want to challenge, like they keep saying they do, they need to challenge with some moves. Make the big move. Get the DP in. That we get a big name in. Someone. Alright, so that is going to be it for my little 2018 review and 2019 preview all wrapped into one. So remember, go check out the link to RevsFan TV down in the description. And I'll see you later. Goodbye.